everyone. My name is Edward Osredkar, and welcome. This is a talk show where I interview various artists in the entertainment industry, and I have the terrific pleasure of talking with Katherine Louise Black. She's an actress, dancer, print model, and she also plays the role of Kimberly Hart on the Power Rangers audio drama. So if you get a chance, you want to check that out. So we'll be talking about that and so much more with my talk with Katherine Louise Black. Hello, everybody. My name is Edward Osredkar, and today I have the terrific opportunity to talk to actress and dancer and print model, among all other things, Katherine Louise Black. And Katherine, welcome to the show. And how are you doing today?
Hey guys, great to be here. Actually, I'm doing like fabulous, actually, like right now, because I live in Clarkston, Washington, and there's like snow that just happened
Oh
yesterday.
my
So it
gosh.
feels really great to have December to have some snow,
Well,
especially during the holidays.
yeah, well, it sounds like it looks a lot more like Christmas there than it does here because it's completely dry here and the temperatures
Oh,
are almost 50 degrees today. So
ooh.
I really wish that it was the weather that you had there. So hopefully it'll come pretty soon, closer to Christmas, and then we'll be all set for the holidays. So yeah, so
Oh yeah.
yes,
But actually I know what you mean because even last year, I mean where I live right now, it's like supposed to be the same thing as you, but I
right.
guess it's something's weird going on right now. But I remember last year in November there was definitely not much snow at all. Except maybe a bit of December, but I remember it was 70 degrees one time last year in Christmas Day, I remember, which was so unusual.
Right. When something like that happens, you feel like putting off Christmas maybe until another month so that you can have Christmas with snow and the cold and everything, so you can celebrate it the right way. That's the way I say it. To me, Christmas without snow is not Christmas.
No,
Well, like you, you're
it's hard.
used to having, snow on Christmas too. So without it, it's
Yes.
like, well, let's have it on a day that there's snow, So, but
Well,
yeah,
maybe he's trying to be nice to Santa Claus, Mother Nature, because the sleigh has to come down, worry about the big snowstorm coming in, and maybe 70 degrees, it feels good for him, like, oh, I don't have to worry too much of wearing a red coat.
that's right. Oh my God. Oh my God. It feels so good to wear like short sleeves instead of that heavy white coat and the furry hat and everything. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yes.
yeah, that
Oh, I could wear my Hawaiian shirt right now. Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's like Merry Christmas Hawaiian style, right?
Oh no, can't picture that.
No. But but yeah, like I says, welcome to the show. And I usually
Yeah.
start off asking my guests this first question because since all of my guests are actors, performers in some way or another, dancers like you are, and this and that, uh, I'll ask you this for the first question. What got you
Hmm.
interested in acting on stage and film? I think everybody would be interested to hear about that.
Yeah. Oh God, that's kind of hard to say because, well, I think I just, well, for dancing, when I was a toddler, I just like dancing around when I was watching like the Nutcracker when I was a little girl. It's like this
Right.
motion picture from a long time ago from 1986, and it was a very terrifying one, I have to say, because the Mouse Kings were very terrifying looking in the movie.
Oh,
And I just remember just dancing around, like mimicking the ballet, everything. My dad just bringing me up and things like that. And when I'm watching like some movies, I was like just trying to imitate like I was in the movie. Like
okay.
in the movie,
Okay.
like I was actually there. Like for example, I was watching The Last Unicorn. If everyone doesn't know that, if you've never seen that, I highly recommend that one. It's so great to
Okay.
watch.
See,
And
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. But that looks like something that I'd want to see. Yeah, definitely.
oh yes, they should because it's definitely one of the great fantasies, underrated great fantasies to see if you love unicorns.
Yeah,
especially. I
yeah,
just remember just imagining I'm like with the unicorn, like going around these adventures, or like we're getting attacked by the Red Bull, not the drink, Red
yeah.
Bull, the
I'm,
actual Red Bull,
I'm glad
who's
you
like
said
very
that. Yeah,
fiery, like, and a giant and things like
yeah.
that. So I just remember mimicking those things, and I just like mimicking like what they were doing. And but then when I was seeing the musical for Dancing on Cats, I think that's when I caught the dancing bug.
Okay.
The
Oh,
Cats, the
that,
musical, the Broadway version that
oh,
changed my life. And
that's a great show to get the dancing bug, the cats. That's probably about the best that there is. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm since from my dancing interests, like when I went from because when I was living in Westchester, New York, and yes, guys, I was originally from New York, and my parents just put me in ballet class and then jazz class, and then I just started keep going on. I liked modern dance most of the time, and that's how I got into it.
Okay.
But I just found out the reason they put me there is because someone told my parents saying I walk like a dancer
Oh, that's
without
cool.
training. That so that's just how it happened.
You're a natural, right? You're a natural
Yeah,
at it.
so that's how it happened.
Okay.
But yes, I got to my first real audition where they had a dance company at the dance studio I was in, which I got in because you had to do ballet and jazz to get in.
Okay.
On two
Okay.
auditions, two different dances, two audition to get into that company, and lots of them
Okay.
always audition for it. And they have
Okay.
apprentices, so I got to have my first real life experience just for a year on
Uh-huh.
that experience. So
Uh-huh.
it was a really great experience at the age from 12 to 13 in 97
Okay. Okay.
on from dancing. And
Okay.
for acting, I just like when I like movies, I wasn't really think about acting really because I just go like, for example, oh, seeing the movie Twister. Oh, I like to become a storm chaser, just like the movie.
But
I do.
you never became a storm chaser, right?
No, I don't.
No.
But I still like as like a person till the in my bucket list, like I really want to see a tornado in person. I never saw a tornado, but I always want to see the sight of the
Okay.
tornado.
Well,
But
if you ever do get to see a tornado, stay far away from it. That's my recommendation to you.
yes.
Advice: don't go near it at all.
And and what else? What else? Oh yeah, and also I remember I wanted to be a dolphin trainer or a whale trainer
Oh,
when I
okay.
saw the movie Free Willy
Oh,
when I was
okay.
younger. But then I
But
found out the danger side about it, so not a good idea. So
so,
I'm always changing my mind. Then I think when I got to around 12 to 13, well, I think like around middle school, so I went, okay, now I really want to be an actress.
okay,
Because
okay.
I kept saying all these things in careers I want to be. I'm like, oh, wait, I could just pretend to be one.
There you go. There you go.
So that's just how it happened.
That's
That's
right.
just how it happened.
That's right.
And I was like, okay, playing like supporting roles. Like I thought they were so exciting because I found out the audience when I was doing the supporting role in The Boyfriend in sixth grade and hearing the audience laughing and me going off the stage and clapping for me.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
that's when I learned about you don't have to be a main star or movie
No,
star
no, not at
to
all.
grab attention. So I have to say, to me, the audience taught me a lot.
Oh, it does. It does. It does. That reminds me, there was a time where I didn't act for quite a while, you know, because of different circumstances, life happens, like they say this and that. And during that period, I continued to go to like stage plays. Like I went back to the college I used to go to, and they would put on
Yeah.
student plays, and I'd be sitting in the audience, and I kept saying to myself, I says, I'm not able to act right now on stage, but I says, this gives me a great perspective sitting in the audience of what the audience feels and anticipates before the actors come on. And I've always remembered that it's like a a process of everything combined, not only, are you
Yes.
aware as an actor about how the audience reacts, but when you're in the audience, you get the audience's perspective to what they're expecting or how they're feeling. And with what you said, that reminded me of that there, that that's just as important. The audience is important because if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't be an
Yeah.
us.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So yes, I would just say it was the audience. Thank you, audience, for teaching me that life lesson. Without
Yes,
you,
yes.
I wouldn't think of supporting roles are not that great.
Yep, yep,
So I
yep,
thank you, audience, for
yep.
giving me that thoughtfulness mindset.
Right, right. And I always thought, like, with the audience, we're on stage, we're playing to so many different people, and
Yeah.
we're never going to know who each one of those people are or what their problems might be. And, they're
Hmm.
just coming to the theater to kind of forget about their troubles for a while, to watch us do our thing up there. And I've, I've always considered us actors as sort of like emotional doctors. I don't know if you ever kind of entertain that thought or not, but it always occurred to me that there might be somebody in the audience that's hidden by the darkness with the lights in our eyes, that they might be
Yeah.
going through something, and something that we say in our lines in the script might hit them a certain way, maybe change their attitude, maybe make them feel better, maybe make them have a better day the next day. And
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever thought of actors in that way, but that's just the way that I've always felt about it. So I
Yeah.
don't I don't know.
Oh, one thing that was very fascinating for me was like when I was in eighth grade when I was playing Madame Bronkhurst from Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, okay. Bye bye
Yeah,
birdie.
I
Yes,
played that like
right.
with the fur coat and all that. And after from the show, like one of the audience like told the director saying, "I didn't know you had a grown up in the audience."
Oh.
They thought I was an old lady in real life.
Well, see
They thought
that.
I was an old lady in real life. I was like, wait, excuse me? Because but I remember like from our time in school productions, they was really crazy creepy. I have to say, they put me everything like over the top makeup and like
Oh,
painting
okay.
wrinkles all over me.
Well, you know
And
why they probably did that? Probably so that everybody in the nosebleed section, far, far away, could kind of see your features. Maybe that's why they overdid your makeup.
yeah,
That's
but it's just how they do that. And I didn't do it. Someone did that. And yeah, I
okay.
swear to God, it was no joke. Someone really thought I was an adult up there.
Uh,
All I did was just like walking slowly like an old lady, how Lady Broncos acts like so over dramatic,
yeah,
even like
yeah.
putting her head in front of the entire audience, putting her head inside the oven.
Oh, okay,
So
okay. Well, see that
yeah,
that
but it was
that
like the most best moment I ever had, thinking I was really an adult.
well, see, that's how good you are at what you do because they mistook you for somebody that you were completely not. That's your talent came through, so that's how good you are. See, so that's like they say, that's a feather in your cap to have people
Oh
think
yeah.
that you're an old lady when in fact you're young. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so that was like a very fascinating experience I ever had on that.
yeah, yeah. Another question I wanted to ask you, which
Mhm.
is related to acting on stage and in film and
Uh-huh.
things like that. Uh, you do voiceover acting, so what got you interested into voiceover acting? Because I know you do a lot of Power Ranger audio
Oh yeah.
drama. So how did you get into voiceover acting?
Well, that did not happen until when I was like in my senior year in college is when I got into it. I was never into it when I was younger because I was more focusing on because like from how I was been raised, I think theater and film were the big thing more than the voiceovers. And
Yes,
for my
yeah,
family
yeah,
side,
yeah,
they didn't
yeah.
tell me too much about voiceovers. And when in my senior year in college, I was like starting to get into more of the Japanese anime in Japanese version. So I was
Okay,
more into it. And I go, oh my God, I think I want to try some voice acting in
Okay.
my after college. And after college, I just took like a animation workshop and I just found out like you make up character voices, which I did not know.
Okay.
And I go, wait, so most things I'm watching is all made up voices on animation, and that's not how they really talk? Because back then I thought that's how they really talk. So that was
Right.
my big first discovery. And all these roles I play for my school productions, I'm always changing different variety of voices from boy's voice when I was in Taming of the Shrew in my sophomore year in high school, an old lady, Madame Bronkhurst,
Okay.
or
Okay.
like being all these weird voices, like people always knowing me as the weird voice on these
Okay.
character
Okay.
roles. And I go, oh, I like to do some character voices because I have are comfortable acting in character voices than using my natural voice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I thought that's like a lot more fun and things like that. And people definitely say I definitely have a really good character voice in a variety of ways.
Yeah, yeah, you do. You do. I know I've listened to a couple of clips of the Power Rangers, and it's like, I can't tell that it's you at all. I mean, even though I know that it's you behind the voice, it's well, yeah, it's quite a talent to know how to change your voice, and not only change your voice, but then also act in the character that you're trying to portray. So
Yeah.
you've got those two things going on at the same time, the change in the voice and the change in your character and your behavior and things like that. So um, when you're voice acting, I know I do this a lot of times, like if I have a voice acting job or something, is that sometimes if I have to change my voice and I have to do a different character. So um, when you're doing your voiceover,
Mhm.
do you sort of imagine the story in front of you as it's unfolding so that like you can stay in character? I mean, like even though you might be just talking to a microphone and
Oh,
and a
yeah.
computer screen in front of you, do you kind of visualize as you're voice acting?
I would definitely say so because I think that's the big challenge about voice acting. It's like you need to have a lot of imagination when
Oh,
nobody's there.
oh
And you need to
yes, oh yeah,
picture like you're really there. I think that's the most challenging part of voice acting. And but actually I will say one thing also, I think it helps you find a way to improve yourself, like how talking more, you need to be more grounded and smoothing your words.
right,
And when
right,
I'm there, when because I get people telling me a lot, like when I take my voiceover coach in coaching sessions, and he always says to me how you need to smooth out your words, make it more
yeah,
clean and clear. And then when I hear that, I go, huh, I guess that's the next thing I need to learn from theater and film, how to be more clear and smooth out my words.
right, right, right.
And also, like when you're doing film or doing voiceover, like always try to stand. Don't move around too much.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I know. I do that myself there. I'll put the computer on a platform somehow where I'm standing, and I don't know, you probably feel the same way that when you're standing, it's like you can breathe so much easier. And if you're
Mhm.
sitting down like this, it's like your chest is all caved in, and you can't get like a
Oh,
full
yes.
breath like when you're standing up. Yeah, 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 that's
Especially
right.
for film, that was the most challenging one I ever did because I didn't get to better about film training when I finished college because I was mostly theater trained. And when I took like this great acting studio I took was Penny Templeton, which changed a lot. I
Yes,
have to say, it
which
changed
I
a
took a
lot.
course too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very
and
good.
she's great. I would highly, for any actors out there, I highly recommend Penny Templeton Studio. So look it up. She's fantastic and you'll love her.
Oh,
And you
yes,
learn so much with her, or else I wouldn't be where I am today.
that's
But
right.
anyways, when I took her class, it was a free sample class, and that's when I start to love it a lot more. But when I took the class, they were telling me, she was telling me saying, "Oh, don't speak so loud. Don't go over the top."
Yeah,
Because I was
yeah,
so used to theater being so over the
right,
top and speaking so loud, because
right,
I'm very comfortable speaking so loud on stage.
right,
It was
right.
so hard to keep it a minimum.
Yeah, yeah. Tone it down a little.
Keep it a
Yeah, that's
minimum.
yeah.
So that was so hard thing to do. And also not try to move my arms so
I
much.
I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah, because I started my acting on the stage too. I mean, it was years and years and years when I started to get into film. In fact, within the last 2 years, all the other years before that was all stage training. Then when I took that course, like you said, they said tone it
Yes.
down, make like all your motions really small. Like even on the Zoom screen, my hands can only go here or like here, and you can't gesture to have your hands go off camera and this and that, and yeah, I remember them saying that it's like everything is in the eyes and everything, the emotions are coming like right out here, so just project it like right from here, and it
Oh,
took
the eyes was actually really complicated for me and things like that. So like when I'm doing, like if I'm doing self tape, sometimes I still have a problem, but I'm still figuring out, like actors, all actors, we always improve every year. Doesn't mean like, oh, we're complete, but we just learn every year
that's
on new
right.
steps to take. So we'll never, that's never gonna be a flawless performance until the day we die.
That's right. That's
Hope it's
right.
okay. I'm saying till the day we die. I just found out, like, even the more older we get, there's still more improvements we need to do.
Oh
It's like
yeah.
in a
Oh
book.
yeah. Oh yeah. Every day. Yeah, it's like if I'm in a stage play and say maybe even if it has a run of maybe 1 weekend or 2 weekends, and even like during rehearsals, it's like
Mhm.
it might be the final performance, the closing night, but it's like every single performance, I'm learning something new about my character, even up until the end of the show. It's like sometimes, I don't know if you feel this way, but sometimes you'll be saying a line, maybe it's the last line in the last
Yeah.
night of your play, and it's like, oh, geez, I didn't realize that I felt like that. And it's like you said, you're constantly learning, and that's the part that I love about that, is because it's always ever changing. Like no two performance nights are alike, because you're getting responses from your other cast members differently. So when you're getting them differently, then you respond to them differently, which could be totally 180 degrees response like from the night before. So that's the great thing about theater there. That's constantly learning, constantly learning. Yeah.
Yep,
That's,
definitely. And also, I think film also taught me a lot too when it comes to theater, is not, like I say, not to move your arms so much. And like, oh, that's a need to be careful. Like also maybe
yes,
same thing too, is not to move your arms too much in theater also.
right, right.
Still need to be over big, still need to be very fast paced in it, but don't move your arms too much.
No, 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 no. Or your arms, or even your head. I remember they taught
Yeah.
us that like for a close-up shot, it's like
Oh, yes.
everything is like super small. The hand, maybe like if it's like a super close-up shot, like maybe no gestures at all, just the head or the eyes. And then
Hmm.
if you get farther back, then you can make it a little bit bigger. Or if it's like a far shot, then you can make it bigger yet. But if it's like right here,
Oh, God,
don't
yes.
don't move. If it's right here, do not move. Just
Yeah, let me
move.
try this. Like,
Yeah, just move your yeah, just
well,
move.
I guess I can talk like this now, can I? Maybe, yeah.
And the emotion comes out there. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's still complicated still, but I think it's still a great to learn these things on these techniques, and also these new technologies they try to do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I'm like hearing about the net. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing about one film that's coming out, which I'm definitely gonna probably definitely want to see so bad would be the new Avatar movie,
Oh yeah.
which
I see you
I
post about that a
know
lot.
where
Yeah.
everything's gonna be shot in underwater, which is a new challenge for actors I've been hearing.
Okay, tell us more about what you were talking about, the Avatar movie.
Yeah, like of the which is the sequel, which we know it's coming out like almost a few weeks away, which December 16th. And well, I remember hearing so much behind the scenes because they said they did so much filming underwater and they did lots of acting underwater. So from hearing that, it's going to be a very new type of experience for these actors. I just found out from Kate Winslet, who we know from Titanic, will be in the Avatar movie, and I just heard she just beat Tom Cruise's record for
Oh,
staying underwater for 7 minutes.
wow. And that's no small feat right there. If you're going to beat Tom Cruise, that's quite a competition to go
Yeah.
up against. Yeah, yeah.
As for me, as other actors, like if I was in something in that kind of level, that's something I would like to do, like how to do some acting underwater. Not like a big ocean, really, because I'm fear of oceans, but it
Okay,
would be fun,
okay.
like you're in this big type of pool in the studio and acting and now in a full imagination. Like I just watched it this morning, Kate Winslet's interview from her experience. And she definitely says you need to have a lot of imagination underwater, picturing everything as much hard as you can in underwater. So it was like a very interesting thing how she was talking about that.
Right, right. That's got to be of course acting. Of course, all actors make acting look easy, but acting is actually, I mean, very difficult. Not only do you have
Oh
to
yeah.
do your lines, but you have to remember your emotions and where to be and where to stand and everything. But I mean, acting underwater, that must be like 100 times, make things 100 times more complicated and harder. I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah. Have you seen the trailer on it?
No, no, I have not seen a trailer on it.
Oh God, you need to. Oh my
I know I
goodness,
do. I
you
know I do.
really need to. So you can know what I'm talking about because when you're watching it, you're gonna go, is this actually an ocean? Is it? Huh? Because it really looks like an ocean. Everything.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
just like, are they just like pretending they're actually in a studio while filming this, like the motion capture and
Right, right,
everything?
right, right, right. That,
So I would so recommend that because when I was seeing the trailer, I just started to cry. I
oh,
was getting
okay.
some bit of happy, like almost getting tears, like getting almost because it's so beautiful. I'm sure it's gonna be hard to know how well in the box office is going to be because, well, for the first Avatar that came out in 2009 and that changed everything.
Okay,
And it just
okay.
waited so long for it because the reason I found out they took so long is because they're trying to wait for the big high technology underwater. I'm like, wait, that's
Oh,
different. How are they going
okay,
to pull that off? But you seen that trailer? It might look like, whoa, big
okay,
imagination, and it looks like an ocean.
okay. Now I've got to see that trailer. Now that you,
Yeah, if you want to do something
now
like for
I've got
me,
to see
I
it.
like to try motion capture myself. I want to do motion capture, like being this new person, like in this new imagination world. So I think imagine motion capture, that's a whole new thing. It's like you're saying, need to have a big high imagination like voice acting.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. You know, uh, talking about making things look very real, like in film or even on stage. I remember hearing once. Did you ever see the movie from? Well, it's in reruns now, probably
Mhm.
you know on movie classics or whatever. The Ten Commandments with Charlton Heston.
Oh my
Ever seen
God,
that
yes.
one?
Oh God, please don't make me remind me about the beginning.
No, 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 no. This is way, way after that, like towards the middle or something. The parting of the Red Sea. You probably remember that part when the ocean parted when they had to cross the ocean.
Oh yes, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
remember. Like,
and
oh yeah.
and I guess what I heard is that you know on film it looks like super huge, and there are these like 200 foot walls of water like on either side and everything. But I guess in reality, everything was like super small, like a model on a table. And it's they they position the camera and like the camera angle to sort of look up so that it seemed like maybe these little puddles of water were like super huge. And of course, back then that was before all of this new technology and advancement in technology. I mean, they just did it like with like little toy models and little oceans, if you want to say they were little oceans, but made to look like super huge. So that, but no, what you were talking about that reminded me of that. I mean, like way before all this modern technology. But yeah, yeah, I don't know.
And that
I
was still a classic still because
oh
they're always
yeah,
showing that every time on Easter or Passover, every
oh
time on that
yes,
movie.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But still haunting me in that beginning.
Well,
So disturbing.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
I know, no, 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 it's okay because I just remembered, like,
A
even from
thousand
that,
pardons, a thousand pardons. Yeah, but
and also remember because also there's a cartoon movie back at the time, Prince of Egypt. I was like bawling my eyes out in the beginning of the
okay,
movie.
okay. Yeah, I was just going to say in that movie, what was it? Yul Brynner. He gave an excellent performance. Yul Brynner. I guess.
Oh, yes, I remembered him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was, when I was a kid growing up, that's when those movies came on, and I always seen Yul Brynner as a bald guy, so I always assumed, well, he was born bald. But I was surprised to learn that he actually had a full head of hair, and I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
weird.
Yeah, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I seem to remember hearing something where he had to shave his head for that movie, and then I guess he kept it shaved, maybe like the rest of his career, because I mean, it did fantastic things for his career, having a bald head, just like the actor on those cop shows. Remember Telly Savalas?
No, I think
No,
I
no, no.
was
Well,
not from
he
that
was
time. No.
he was more like a TV actor, but he played like these cops and these TV police detectives, and he always had a bald head. But I think naturally he'd have a full head of hair. But like for the role, he had to shave it too. So, but they probably wouldn't have been as famous if they didn't have a bald head. I don't know, for some reason. I don't know why, but
Well, same thing happened to the one in this generation. Was one actor guy, like he was in the show Gotham where he played Victor Zaz, where he shaved his head, and then he's in Barry. He said ever since he shaved his head bald, it was the best thing he ever did in his life because that's when he booked so much roles for that.
yeah.
Because when he had hair, did not have too much roles.
Oh, hopefully that'll work for me someday. I wasn't born like this. I naturally grew into it, but who knows? But yeah.
Man, I'm gonna feel weird. Yul Brenner as a with hair because I remember, yes, Ten Commandments and the King and I movie.
And The King and I, yes, The King and I, that's another one. Yeah, yeah.
Now I
In
can't
fact,
never picture him with hair.
in
That's
fact,
gonna be weird. Him
in
and hair.
fact, I
I
think
can't see
that
it.
yeah, in fact, I think that was the movie there. The King and I remember that there where he was always standing like that with his hands on his
Yes.
like that, the
Kind of like he did in Ten Commandments.
yeah, 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 yeah. The king in
Now I can't
charge.
picture him with hair. Yeah,
No, me either, me either. If I
I
think if
can't. I thought he was born with it. I thought he was born with it.
I think if I ever seen him with hair, I think it would bother me for the rest of my life and probably give me nightmares at night. My God, my idol is not bald. He's got a full head of hair. I can't get over it, and this and that.
Yes.
But yeah. Oh, another thing I wanted to ask you about,
Mhm.
your stage experience and everything is that you've done a lot of things in the theater where you are now, near where
Yeah.
you live there with the Louis Civic Theater. What? Blith Spirit, Murder on the Orient Express, Puffs, Night
Live spirit.
School, Bly series, yeah. And see, I'm so bothered by Yul Brenner that it's affecting my speech there. So forgive me. And You also have performances like Rainy Day Artistic Collective and everything.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking that, like, ever since you joined the Civic Theater, the Lewiston Civic Theater, what's your experience been like? Like, I know all of us during the pandemic, we were
Oh my
limited
God,
to
yeah.
this Zoom, and all of us felt so closed in and everything like that. And I think that was probably the first time you acted live since the pandemic on stage in Lewiston. And I mean, what was that like when you were finally able to perform like in front of a live audience after being cooped up with the Zoom for so long?
Yeah. Well, first was like, well, the thing is, like, after I finished college, I wasn't doing too much on theater. I was mostly like getting more experiencing in film and voiceovers mostly. And then, of course, then that's when the pandemic hit, and then I just did new style of virtual theater, which is, I think, a great thing
Oh
to
yeah.
do.
Oh
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
great thing to do. So I think for that, so I know that's totally going to be the future, or it is getting close to a future, but I'm just imagining it's going to get more
Yeah,
advanced
yeah.
more
For
than ever.
for
Just waiting for
audition.
those
Yeah,
freaking virtual glasses where we zoom in for the gig.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm waiting
yeah.
for. But
And
when
yeah.
I first took the Lewiston Civic Theater, woo, oh God, like it's because after taking so long, well, first, like before I was in plays, I did the musical. I was just being a background dancer for the Addams Family musical. Yep,
Okay.
guys, there is an Addams Family musical. If you did not know, yes. But people
No.
who've seen the show Wednesday, just imagine in the Broadway show her wearing a yellow dress.
Okay.
Can't see that. You
Okay.
can't see that. It's in the musical. She's wearing a yellow dress. Like, wait, that's Wednesday. Why is she wearing a yellow dress? This is not her. So anyways, yeah. So when I was like taking the sketch stage again, just to process, I call it more like a process to get back on stage. And I go, God, where have I been?
Yeah,
Where have I been for
that
so
must
long?
that must have felt so weird actually being in front of people. I know that would be my reaction too, being so used to seeing just a two one-dimensional figure on a Zoom screen, flat, no
It's not
depth.
that because I also did a lot of school productions and mostly that, but also was doing like film shoots and voiceovers or more
Oh yeah,
experiences.
yeah, yeah,
And but then when I took the Lewis and Civic Theater, I go, wow, oh my God, where have I been?
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
actually also not just that, but conflicts like survival jobs, for example.
Right,
And
right,
like, oh
right.
my God, it's like I woke up from a coma or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
Woke up
I,
from a
I
coma, but I wasn't
yeah,
nervous or anything. I was not nervous or anything. It was like nice feeling that energy up again
yeah, yeah.
and
That,
things like
that
that.
that's another thing I wanted to ask you. Like they were always saying, oh, like actors always get, like butterflies and everything before they
Yeah.
go on stage or on camera or whatever. How about you? Do you ever get butterflies or anything, or no, before you
I
go on?
think it only happens to me like on opening day and things like that, because that's when the big energy shows
Right,
up.
right, 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 right.
But I was definitely like, because when I was in Blythe Spirit, and I'll say one thing, it was my first time getting my first real experience doing an British accent.
Okay.
So I never I was like wasn't sure because from me like accents was not my best suit. But then when I did a little accents at a time, just a little bit from the audition, and I was just doing a little bit because that's what you're supposed to do, or else they'll get very irritated. And then when they said I'm cast, I went, wait, what?
Oh.
It's like, wait, what? Wait, they could have had me do a British accent and I could pull it off. I was like very, very surprised
Yeah,
for me getting in, and especially for a small cast, because like for plays, it can be a lot of pressure, especially why film actors have a hard time doing plays because it's a lot of directions and a
it is.
lot of focus
It
and a
is.
lot of dialogue, which I'm mostly used to. I'm okay with those, so it's nice to go back to that route. And but I was like, oh my goodness, I'm doing an English accent for the first time, but on stage.
On
That
stage.
never happened. So that was my first time experience
Right,
for
right.
that. And then came the Murder on the Orient Express, where they put me I auditioned again while I was still in Blythe Spirit, where I just did my English accent, how I did from Blythe Spirit. And oh, look, I'm playing Mary Debenham in Murder on the Orient Express. And oh, wait, I'm playing a romantic lead. I never played a romantic lead.
There you
So
are.
it was my very, so I mostly was known not as the romantic lead type
Okay. Okay.
from everything I've done back in New York.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
would say the Lewiston Civic Theater got me the great challenges of doing a British accent and roles I never done
That's
before.
good. That's good. Yeah.
And these were like really great, incredible experiences. But yes, I did a third one, and I did like various roles in the Harry Potter parody of the Puffs. And I did like a two special Friday showing of me playing Bippy, the house elf, where I'm
Okay.
like, I am Bippy, the house elf. Just did it that way. And also supposed to, I didn't know I was gonna get that one because here's the person supposed to dance and sing. For me, I'm not much of a singer, really. Took
Right.
voice lessons, but I was not much of a singer, so I just did my own attitude, dancing, singing way. I'm like, wait, they put me in a role, and I can't believe they put me in that one. So my role was saying to the people from when I was in Adam's Family, saying, "See, you guys, you want me to sing? Here is me singing." So yeah, so I did that.
Yeah.
For the British accent, it was, oh my God, I can't believe I can do that.
There you go. There you go. There's the British accent. Cheerio. Chop,
Yeah, I just
chop,
learned about putting
cheerio.
your tongue between your teeth.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
it's just amazing because like my dad's so big about British mysteries and
yeah.
British shows, and I'm glad
Okay.
I was on something that could make him happy.
Yeah. Have you ever done any stage Agatha Christie mysteries? I know I've done a few in the past.
Last time I did that, because Murdy and the Orient Express is Agatha Christie. That one. Last time I was in one was like my senior year in high school, which was 10 Little Indians,
Okay, okay,
where I played the role of a small role called Narracott,
okay.
who brings the sales stuff. So, and then when I was in Murder and Orient Express, I went, oh my God, I'm in a second Agatha Christie play. Oh my God. And I didn't know about the twisting ending about it because I didn't see the movie because I heard
Right,
people
right,
say
right.
the movie was great. So I had no idea what this, everybody's a suspect. And the
Right,
ending, when I was
right,
reading the
right.
script, I went, wait, excuse me? Wait a second. So it was like a great kind of twisting things like, oh God, I'm making something of a British mystery and Dad's going to be so happy.
Yeah. I know I always found those Agatha Christie mysteries interesting to perform in. One of them I remember, what is it? Oh, uh, was it Death Takes a Holiday? Death Takes a Holiday.
No, I don't know
Death
that.
Takes a Holiday.
I got like
Or,
Dial M
the
for
mouse,
Murder one.
the
So
Mouse
yeah,
Trap. Have you ever heard of the Mouse Trap?
heard about that. I just found out they have a London play out, and actually just found out in 2023 that they're going to bring it to Broadway.
Oh wow, cool,
Yes.
cool. They're
Now
gonna,
I'm curious about reading the book right now because ever since doing the Murder and Orient Express, like, yes, I got myself the novel of like, well, it's mostly called Then They Were None. But from plays I remember doing, it was like 10 Little Indians, I called it.
okay, okay.
And then they were none. And funny because like in the play, you find out who the murderer is, but from the play, you don't. In a book, you don't.
Right, right, right,
That
right.
was a very new kind of take on that. And well, actually, when I was in Murder Art Express, I got myself reading the book to understand it more
Yeah, a
because
lot
the
of time.
play was a big adaptation.
Yeah, well, a lot of times I think it is better probably. Well, in one way, it's better to read the book before, you see a play or something, but then in another way, it's not so good because then you know how the story ends, and you're
Oh yeah.
probably probably sitting through the whole performance saying, well, geez, I know how it ends, maybe I can take a snooze here before intermission, because I know how the whole thing goes. But
Yeah.
well, even like with a movie, if you read the book, I mean, there's a lot of things that they cut out in a film that aren't in the book, because probably if they included everything that's in the book, probably the movie would be like 10 hours long, you know? I mean, if they
Oh
took
God.
all of the information, it would sort of be like a mini series, you know, and it's like, okay,
Oh yeah.
well, we're going to do a movie exactly based on the book. Come to the movie theater 10 separate days and see each couple chapters unfold, you know, and it's like the audience is going to be like that. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
to keep the film and even a play interesting, they got to really, squeeze just what they actually need out of the story to make it interesting, to keep people's interest without uh, not leaving too much out of the story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But oh wait, there's also one thing. Also when I was reading the book of Murder on the Orient Express is because it was actually more serious. But in the play, there's some humor.
Okay, okay.
That's what's different. And the difference is like my character, Mary Demenham, compared to the book, because in the play, she gets shot on the arm.
Oh.
Like here I am with the blood on my
Oh
arm,
my God.
on the hole, and stuff
Oh,
like
what,
that.
what, what did you
And
what did you have, like a bunch of red capsules underneath your blouse?
oh no, no, it's like first, like in the act one, like there was nothing there. We just had to hide it.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then an intermission, the person just put the blood around it.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
no, I did recorded screaming because if I scream like every night, every show will hoarse my voice.
You wouldn't
It
have a
would
voice.
hoarse my
Yeah.
voice. It was such a loud screamer. They said the director's like, "That's how you got the role because of your scream, of your screaming." And I was just like lying down. You should see the train. Like, how you managed to do that? Because they had this rolling thing
Uh-huh.
coming like this, like go from here's one setting to the next setting with rolling it out
I
from a
think,
roller in the
yeah,
bottom.
now that you mention that, I think I seen that somewhere online where it was sort of like on a turnstile or a carousel, and
Yeah,
they turned it like 180 degrees to the set
yeah.
for the other scene. That was amazing.
Yeah. Oh God, you see me, I was in the ground with my arm out. And I just had my eyes a little open because they were rolling it when I was on the ground.
Oh, don't get your arm
I was
caught in there.
rolling it on
Don't
the
get your arm.
ground, like,
If you get your arm
yes.
caught, you'll never get it back. One of those things.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, because like waiting for it to happen, like
Yeah,
when they're rolling it and when it's near the audience, and then I have my eyes closed.
yeah, yeah. They,
But it was like a very intriguing experience, just like lying there. And also you could feel the stage like on top, like hurricane from the cast.
oh, everything is shaking and vibrating because of the
Yes, it was
storm.
like really shaking. And then here's me look like I'm dead. Blackout.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh God, I feel like some lucky stuff was Mary. Like first she's getting a passionate kissing up on the front deck,
And now
the
she's
front deck.
and now she's dead. She was being kissed before, and now
But
she's
she's
dead.
not dead, actually. She was like, you know how it ends, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry guys, spoiler alert if you don't want to watch this, because in the ending, they're all the suspects, every single one in the train,
Oh,
including Mary
yeah, yeah,
Himham.
yeah, yeah.
And for Mary, she didn't die. She just had to look like to make the detective complicated.
Right, right. Just to further complicate the story and to probably leave the audience wondering, give them a couple extra thoughts so they can take something away from the theater with them. It's like, well, the story isn't over. You make up the ending on your own. We've told it to you
Oh
so
yeah.
much this far, so you take it the rest of the way. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah. So actually in the book I found that only one was not the suspect, but in this play it was like every single one. Every
yeah,
single one.
yeah.
So that's what it was. But yes, so that's like, so yes, two very intriguing things. Like here I was in Blythe Spirits, like, oh, I was playing Miss Bradman in it, kind of like a clueless person who has no idea what's going on, just there for the flow. And but very cool, just like pretending to have a crystal, playing a seance and everything.
Right, right,
It was
right.
really cool. And but it was nice to play the role. It was more like a supporting role in that one because since I was getting my process back to the theater on live, acting
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So I was grateful to do that, but felt so good. Like, yes, difference in film because but in theater you have to be focused the whole time. You
that's
can't
right.
talk.
That's
You
right.
can't talk on backstage. You have to
No,
really go where in the scene is, and you can't like, oh, I made a mistake. Let's go back again.
no, no. There's no do-overs. There's no do-overs in theater. It's like film.
That was
Yeah, film. You can say,
that was the
oh,
hard part when I was doing filming when I first started. It was like the repetition.
well,
And I was like, oh God, this is
yeah,
hard because I'm so used to like going for the flow.
yeah, yeah. And then like in film, it's like you don't go like right from beginning to end. If they want to shoot one scene that's maybe in the middle of the film, you shoot that today. Tomorrow, you might shoot the end of it, and the next day you might shoot the beginning of it. So yeah, there's no. It's a different type of acting. I mean, it's
Yes.
acting, but it's a different. It's a different type of acting. So. Um, I always tell like younger people that sometimes they'll ask me for advice, stage and film. And I was saying, get your training, in my opinion, anyway. It's like get your training in theater. That's a good
Yes.
basis to work from. You know everything from beginning to end. You learn and even in my case, you learn about wardrobe, you learn about audio and video, lighting and set building and things like that. And then when you get to film, you've got all that background knowledge, and film is just acting, but it's acting, but it's different. It doesn't have all those other facets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other facets along with filming, and like we were talking about how to talk or how to motion and this and that. But to me, in my opinion, anyway, the theater is sort of like the first grade in an
Yeah.
elementary school,
Hmm.
to build to build to build your acting knowledge. That's what I've always felt there. Yeah, and and
Especially for virtual theater, you're part crew and part actor.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, like even now, you and I were both looking at a webcam, and we
Oh
got our
yeah.
keyboards in front of us, and we got the right arrow key and the left arrow key, and okay, now which arrow key operates the volume? Which
Oh God, yes. Well,
That's
like a mishap, like, oh God, I forgot to put sound back.
right. And then it's like we got all these icons on the bottom of the screen here, and it's like, oh my God, mute. Am I muted? Stop video. No, I don't want to stop video. Record like I'm recording now. No, wait a minute. I don't want to press pause because then that'll ruin the whole thing. I got to press record, but then press stop when I'm actually done. And so, yeah, no, yeah, we're the whole crew all in one screen. I
Oh yeah.
agree. Yeah, and so that was something else that I realized with Zoom about being the cameraman, the sound man,
Oh
and
yeah.
and the props person too.
Oh my God, yeah. But right now, because it's for me in virtual theater, let's you because okay, we're gonna talk about the artistic Rennie Dance Collective.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, like so far, because like yes, I've done things of the Shakespeare of Much Ado About Nothing and Cyrano de Bergerac, the ancient stuff. But when I was in Cyrano de Bergerac, like I had to do 9 characters
Yes, I
in
seen
there.
that. I seen
Yeah.
that. Yes,
So
I
I
was
did a
very
little
impressed.
upgrade. So I just did like a little upgrade of getting myself like a costume hanger
Oh,
roller
I th
to make it look like I'm getting ready for backstage to put on so many
I
costumes
think
than
I
just leaving
seen
it
that.
all on the ground on the couch.
I think I seen you post that photo too with the I says to myself, wow, I says she's got all the equipment right here, she's got the camera and the sound and everything. She's got the clothes rack. It's like, wow, it's really a professional setup there because I seen you had the coat rack and you had all the different dresses all lined up, probably in the order that you were going to wear them, right? Like from left to right.
Yeah, it was the only way to do it because, or else it would be such a mess. And also putting them back, like putting it be such a mess because it was a lot of quick changes, or I have to put some of them on the chair if it's like a few second change. And
I know it. I know it. I know it. I know.
I
Yeah, I
remember I had
know.
like so many props around the like the
That,
office desk and everything.
that's another thing there. We have this laptop here, and so like sometimes you might have to eat like a plate of food. So you have your plate on the right side, and you have your glass here, but then you got to use a napkin. So you got your napkin stuffed somewhere else on the side of
Oh my
the
God,
table.
yes.
You sort of have to make it look like you're sitting at a dinner table, and it's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll just take
Oh my
another drink
goodness,
and this
yes.
and that, and
Well, this time I'm having a new challenge, which is where I'm back to doing Alpha New York City Theater Company of the virtual production this weekend, a Christmas show called A Christmas Virtually, where I'm doing like 3 Christmas shorts. And what's going to be a very big challenge is like I'm going to be in 3 different locations in my apartment.
oh, okay, okay,
Like here's one going to be in my bedroom,
uh-huh,
and then next I have to have a virtual background in the next one.
okay,
And the
okay,
next I'll have to be out in my table out of the TV kitchen table out there.
okay. So you're sort of, yeah, you're going to be on location, but you're going to be all in
Yeah.
your own apartment, right?
Yeah, so I have to be very careful to bring my laptop around
Okay,
so
yeah,
it doesn't break. And the lights. So that's gonna be like a, but the most complicated one is like I'm in the third time in called Reindeer Game where I'm playing a therapist, and then I take one break, it takes 5 minutes, and I have to get ready to put in the virtual background for the next one.
oh, okay. So that's what
So
they
it's
call.
gonna be a lot of work, but I like this way. I think it's a great new challenging thing I'm doing in various places in my own apartment.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus it gives a lot more variety than just using a virtual screen, actually having an
Oh yeah.
actually having a live background for that there.
Yeah, but the only question is gotta make sure I don't make the virtual background fall down, the green screen fall down when I'm moving around.
That is always an issue right there. That's always an
Yes.
issue there.
Yeah, so anyways, guys, like if you want to check it out, you could go to the website and where it says Christmas virtually, and it starts this week on December 9th through 11th.
Okay, I'm glad you
Check
got
out the
that. I'm glad you got that plug in because I was going to start to talk about it, but you beat me to the punch there. So
times.
please watch Catherine this weekend, please. So that's a please from Catherine, and it's a please from me. Please from me too.
Yes.
But yeah.
And it's great. It's really great because it's how the director is doing it in this production is very creative.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing because the third one in the Christmas virtually I'll be doing is where everything has to be black and white.
Oh, okay. That's an extra uh uh technical issue that you have to solve, right? Being having everything in black and white.
Yeah, yeah, those was called like the virtual visual, I believe.
Yeah.
But that was another one that, but thank God I'll have a long way to set up to put that on there, so it's not a quick change.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So good
it'll
thing take time.
at least it'll give you a little bit extra time to change then if it's
Oh
not
yeah.
right away. So that'll give you a little breather in between what you have to do. So
Oh
so
yeah.
that you can get ready for the next scene there. So yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Catherine, we're almost out of time, and I would
Oh yeah.
really like to thank you a whole lot. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you and having you on my show. We've acted together online before, but this is actually the first one-on-one talk that we've had, along with our
Oh my God, yes. What a refresher it has been.
viewing
And I hope you
audience.
listeners enjoyed it yourself.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure that they enjoyed our conversation. But like I always tell everybody that comes on my desk or on my show, just think of it as a couple of friends getting together over a cup of coffee in a restaurant.
Of course.
This is exactly what it's felt like. So it's been great having you, and uh, a pleasure. And Good luck in your performance this
Thank
weekend,
you.
and good luck in everything that you have lined up in the future. And I'll say thank you very much. My name is Edward S. Redcar, and I've had the extreme pleasure of talking with Katherine Louise Black. And until the next time, stay safe and have happy holidays and take care.
Hi, guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And stay safe, but
That's
enjoy
right.
yourself.